Yeah, he did what he had to do to win. He stays undefeated.
15-0.
Yeah, 15-0. That's a feat in and of itself. So credit to him. I am curious, what would you like to see next for Ian Garry?
Colby. I'm thinking Colby. I think that one would be a fight for the fans, not only, but I think that is huge for Ian Garry in the next steps of becoming a real title contender. That if you knock off Colby's kind of been that gatekeeper in that division for a while. He's always been that guy to be like, all right, well, I'll get the title shot, win a fight. Okay, I'm next. So I think if he really wants to make a statement, although Wonder Boy would be a fun fight, I think that Colby needs to be next up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Wonder Boy is a tough one for him just because he's also lower than him in the rankings. So I don't think a win over Stephen Thompson really does much for Garry. I think going into this fight, Garry was what, 7? Like 7?
7.
I think he's going to jump up a couple. Yeah, I would love a Colby fight. I think that a lot of people are kind of over Colby in that who has he really beat in the last few years aside from Jorge Masvidal? He hasn't had a lot of very interesting performances. I mean, he got dog walked by Edwards. His win over Masvidal wasn't great. But at the same time, if we're asking who is he beaten, who is he lost to?
Yeah.
He is lost to Leon Edwards, who is fantastic. He is so talented.
Yep.
And Usman, who is arguably one of the greatest welterweights of all time.
Yep.
So I think he is still rightful in that position as the gatekeeper of the welterweight division.
Yep.
You're gonna have to go through him if you want to win. I would love to see that fight. There's bad blood there already. I think that fight sells like crazy. I think with this most recent fight, Garry versus Page, I think he lost a little bit of hype with just the outcome of the fight. I mean, he ended just kind of as a backpack. So I think that would kind of reignite some hype on Gary's part. We don't want him to turn into like a Paddy Pimblett, where people are kind of just wanting him to lose. I think he kind of already is that, but I think this would get him back in that direction. So I think him versus Colby would be a fantastic fight. Plus, we need to get Colby back. We need that back.
Well, I feel like that also opens up a different level of who Ian Garry's fought, in the sense of nobody in the welterweight division has the pressure that Colby Covington has.
Mm-mm.
And the consistent pressure, the consistent striking, and the ability to never stop and just keep taking you down. I think I would love to see that fight.
That and Colby's wrestling would force Garry to stay on the feet.
Exactly.
And that would be a really fun fight. Garry couldn't just take him down like he took down Page. He'd be forced to really test his striking. And I think that's what people want to see from Garry, especially with the parallels to him and McGregor. You want to see him strike. You want to see him get a knockout. And I think that would be a fantastic fight to do that. I also like the idea of Jack Della. I think that would be a really fun fight. I think that just another striking battle. I mean, Della is one of the best boxers there is.
Yeah.
I believe he's injured right now, but I think that would be an incredible fight. And he's also ahead of him in the ranking, so a win over him would be really beneficial for Garry.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, going back to Colby, I think that'd be fantastic. And we heard Garry talk a little bit about cementing his legacy as a way to sort of deviate from the McGregor comparisons. He said that he really, he's very proud to be mentioned in the same sentence, but he's also going to forge a legacy of his own. I think wins over guys like Colby Covington really help solidify that case.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, because I mean, at the same time, Colby needs a win as well.
Mm-hmm.
Colby is coming off a couple. I mean, he beat Jorge, but then went on to get somewhat dominated by Leon.
Mm-hmm.
And so Colby needs a win as well. And I think stopping Ian Garry, stopping the hype train there would kind of put him right back in that title contention.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I don't really know after UFC 304, I don't really know what's next for Leon. So hopefully maybe a Shavkat, maybe someone else. But I think if that fight gets made and Colby wins, then I think he's right back in the title contention where he wants to be.
Yeah, I agree. And that's another person we weren't mentioning was Shavkat. Ian Garry said he wants to fight Shavkat in his post-fight presser. I I don't like that fight for Gary yet.
Yeah.
I don't like that matchup stylistically.
I think it's a bad matchup for anybody in the division.
That's very true. Absolutely. Yeah, he's kind of looming. I don't know how many people really want to fight him. So, yeah, but Ian Garry got the win. Did we had to do